Greetings, social media land. This is Ted Victor, founder of the Broad Social Network. Today is Friday, June 19th, Juneteenth Day. And for those of you who are paying attention in the United States, you are paying attention that today is a historical day in the United States. And I have the wonderful opportunity to invite a friend, a sister, a force of nature in Miami, my friend Linda Joseph. Linda, welcome to the Broad Social Network. Please introduce yourself and let the community know who you are and what you are doing for humanity.
Good morning, and let me say happy Juneteenth to everybody. Juneteenth is not just a Black or immigrant or any type of just a certain person holiday. It's a holiday for humanity. It's when we have a reckoning and says that it's not humane to keep people as slaves, and that was the day we found out that slavery was abolished 2 years later after emancipation. So I say and I extend to everyone, happy Juneteenth. That's a celebration of freedom for everyone. All right, that being said, my name is Linda Joseph. I am everything that embodies Little Haiti. I am Little Haiti. I was born and raised in Little Haiti. I was born with parents of immigrants, Haitian immigrant parents. Like I said, I went to college here. I did all my activities here. I am an activist. I believe in the city. I believe in the community. It is my life passion. I can remember organizing and just rallying up our troops as early as in my elementary days when I thought that we didn't get enough time on the PE field. So activism is in my blood, is what I do, is what I live for. So that's who I am.
Thank you so very much again. So there are a few things that we can cover because 2020, month of June, there's just so many things going on. We, of course, have COVID-19. Right. We have the economic downturn. We have people trying to figure out how to educate their kids. Right. We have something that's near and dear in our hearts. People are rioting. We have the killing of folks, which maybe we probably have on a daily basis, but we didn't know about it because of the lack of cell phones. But now that we have cell phones, we are discussing it and so forth. We have manifestations and protests. So all of this goes in the direction of being able to connect what's happening in current events with the power to vote. Correct. So you are a DNC delegate. Now, you know I'm an educator. I've been in the classroom for 20 years. And this video will be seen by hundreds and thousands of people, particularly my students as well. Talk to us as to what does it mean to be a DNC delegate? What is that? Why is that important? And why would the average person walking down the street care about that?
Okay, the reason why a delegate is so vital and so important. I'm a 24, okay, my position is the 24th congressional delegate. So I represent Frederica Wilson, the great Congresswoman Frederica Wilson. She is my Congresswoman. So I will go represent her district, predominantly African-American demographic. So we're going to be representing her. The delegate, what we do as delegates and when we're elected, and it's an elected position, so I was elected among the people in my district, we are cast as the one that will represent our district in the next, at the next convention, in the Democratic convention. We're going to be the one in task of choosing the next representation of our president, who will represent us as a Democrat for the presidency. Okay, that's what the delegate do. And what also the delegate do is we're in charge of make sure our platform, our concerns, our needs are being met and they're being addressed. Okay, I will be bringing one of the things that I'm bringing to the forefront. Representing the delegation is a lifelong passion of, living wage in our community. There has just been a huge part of, that is a part of systemic racism. When you have huge corporations just not paying people what they're worth. So those are the platform I'll be bringing, a living wage, healthcare, lack of healthcare in our community. So as a delegate, we take the information that the community is concerned about and we take it back to us at the convention. So it's our job to make sure the president and all the president men around them know this is the concern of the 24th congressional race. So in essence, I am the mouthpiece. You tell me what's the issue that we need to address and we bring it back to the possibly, no, will be the next president of the United States if we do what we're supposed to do. And another thing, and my role is to do, once the information is descended to me, I have to come back and bring it back to the community. And then we need to rally the troops and get everyone to go and get started, everybody registered to vote, and make sure people are registered to vote, and make sure they are voting and they're able to vote.
Did you have to, was this a campaign? Did you have to run? Did you just apply? How does one become a delegate, and does it cost any money?
No, it's the cost is your time and sweat and your passion. There is no money involved in it, but you have to buy materials to let your name go out there. No, there is a full election, but I have to cast my name. I have to reach out. I have to do press release. I have to speak on the event, speak on the issues, speak on what's how I'm going to represent the 24 congressional race. So yeah, it is a full campaign that you have to really work for it and really earn it. And it's only every 4 years. So I'll be a delegate for the race is every 4 years. So I'll be the delegate for the 24 congressional race for the next 4 years. And then another 4 years, someone else can run after me. So I'll be somewhat of a mouthpiece to the congresswoman to the president. So we have a direct connection about what's going on the ground in our community.
How many delegates are there down here? And when you give me that number, is there a time where you sit down with the congresswoman and talk about how to strategize and what to say and what to talk about?
Oh, absolutely. There is 3, and it depends on how large is the district and how many people there lives in the district. This district is pretty large, so it's 3 of us delegate. I mean, there's 4 delegates that's elected, and then we have an alternative if one of us cannot perform our duty. Yes, and we do sit down with the congresswoman. We've already had conversation with her to address the needs. So we're more or less the mouthpiece on the ground to find out what is going on. We've sat in with her, and one of the things we would address is housing, a minimum wage, a living wage, and also access to healthcare.
Okay, so talk to us about some of the other major phenomena going on in the country right now. And I'll be honest with you, even though I know that you're receptive and open, I'm uncomfortable talking about it because I'm a father, I'm a parent, I'm a human being, I'm a Black man in America. Give us your thoughts in response to Minneapolis, and they've been 3 men, maybe 4 or 5 that's been found lynched in 2020. Aubrey, talk to us about what you see going on in America in terms of Black Lives Matter.
You know, I get emotional when I talk about the Joy Fuller case. You know, I am a mother, and they hear a cry. You know, they say that soldiers on the battlefield, knowing that they will die, they always call out to something that is so sacred to them, so intimate to them, and they call out their mother. So that tells me he saw death coming and he called out his mother. You would not understand what that do to you as a mother of a Black man. It makes it makes me feel inadequate that I wasn't there to save them, protect them. And when we've done the right thing of teaching them the right thing to do, but nevertheless, we put them out there. It's like actually wearing your heart outside your body. And then when your body and your heart is outside your body, and then you cannot protect it. Like I felt some sense of letting George Floyd down as a mother. It was a strange feeling that came over me. And the strength of Aubrey and Brianna, you know, I read an article says that, you know, racism is not getting worse. It's just getting filmed. These things we knew of it.
I like that. Let me write that down. Racism. Yes. Racism is not getting worse. It is just getting filmed. It's just getting caught on to the camera on cell phones. It is just getting filmed. Racism is not getting worse. You hear that, social media land? Racism is not just getting worse. It is just getting filmed. In other words, there's a spotlight on a problem that has always been there. So
it's always permeated, always there. Always there. You know, let me tell you a quick story. About a month or 2 ago, my son got in a car accident, and someone ran into him. Simple car accident, and he said, "Mom, hold on, I'm going to call the authorities because you know I want to get a report." And this overwhelming feeling of fear came over me. And it shouldn't be. That I should be able to say, call the authorities. Everything is legitimate. It's licensed. It's
Thinking and hoping that he's going to be safe. Thinking and hoping that he's going to be safe, right? When you call the authorities.
Absolutely, absolutely. Like I'm telling you, I just got this feeling over me, and I had him keep me on the phone, on speaker. And this is just a fraction. This is just a car accident. That was not even his fault. But I got fearful.
You never
that
know.
Tells
you
something.
never know. You never know.
You just never know when it could go wrong. And so that's the fear that we live with. And when we have our children out there, and that fear should not exist, but it does. And I don't want to say that all cops are bad, because that's absolutely incorrect. I know great cops. My kid's father is a wonderful community police. So there is good police over there. But if anybody say systemic racism don't exist, you're sleeping on the rock. It is there. It is there even when it's like a minor traffic incident and you see who the officer give the ticket to. Or it's there when who the officer gives a break to. It is there when the officer pulls you over. Just the tone of his conversation with you, the way he asks you. It's there when you have a car accident and he never bothered asking the person in the car who had the accident, "How are you okay? How are you feeling?" Depending, just because of who you are and who your skin. So racism do exist. Biases do exist.
It's hard.
Permeated.
What would you like to say to young people? Because unfortunately for me, I think we are not, and I'm a teacher of 20 years, and I told this to the superintendent, I don't think that the curriculum in Florida, maybe throughout the United States, does not keep up with current events, cannot keep up with reality. We're not giving them enough survival skills.
Correct.
What do you think we should do? And this is a loaded question, so I'm going to tell you it probably is not even a fair question. What do you think we need to do as a community to save the future of our children?
Well, I think we need to begin to have a true dialogue and conversation. And second of all, and I think, and this could be a loaded answer too, I think we need to get true representation of us. And let me tell you something. There's this thing in our community that when we have a leader, we keep the leader. Sometimes the leader becomes not as effective. We have to keep up with the time. Okay, we have to keep up with the time. Things changes. That leader was once great in the 60s, 70s, 80s. Maybe sometimes it's time to change, and we need new leadership, a new outlook of things. So we need to, yes, have a dialogue and have a conversation, but have a serious conversation of who represented us and why they represent them, and hold them accountable. Say, okay, this is your loss. This is what's going on. This is going on. This is going on. And make a concerted effort to reach out to the people. I know the people need to reach back out. I know the people need to reach out to the politician, but us as representation, we need to come out to the people. Go where they're meeting. Go to their churches. Go to their civic unit. And this and that. We need to make ourselves visible. Because the thing is that it's not that I don't hold citizens responsible for, elected officials, but I believe that it is so much on them. There's so much burden on them. There's so much work schedule, school schedule, and, trying to make ends meet that, we're the last thing. Politicians are the last thing on their mind. So I think we as elected officials, we as people who say we're going to represent the community, make a concerted effort to reach out to them, knock on doors. Go to Civic Center, go to the churches, go to where they gather, go to the local park. Hey, hello, I am this such and such. Talk to me. What's going on? Or make it as if they used to have this program with the chief, where having coffee with the chief. Well, the chief will meet at a particular diner, and if you are a person in the community and you want to have a conversation with the chief, you meet him there at a certain time. He would post it on his social media, and people would come in. And they would sit down and talk to him. Because listen, the thing is that what I've noticed, because I'm just getting into this field, is that it's the same people. And we're not reaching the core people and the people that's truly affected and don't understand that their lives being affected. And I tell people, they say, oh, they don't want to get into politics. Politics makes every decision there is.
There's no such thing as somebody who's apolitical. Politics affects every day of your life, every moment of your life, directly and indirectly. There's no such thing as somebody who's apolitical. You may not like it. You may choose to not, quote unquote, get actively involved. However, the fact that you buy this pen, the tax that you pay, that's political.
Exactly. Where the school is located, that's political. Where the traffic light is placed is political. Is there going to be a grocery store in your community? That's political. So we need to, I think we as elected official, people who says they're activists or they're in the community, need to reach out to the people and be completely available, open door policy. I don't care where I'm at. I don't care what I'm doing. If someone needs to talk to me, I'll stop what I'm doing and I will talk to them and I will educate them about this is what's going on. This is what's going on. So absolutely, I think it's honest to us for us to reach back out to the community.
So listen, take a step back because bring me back a little bit.
Okay.
Where did this passion come from, Shay? Like, I'm hearing you and I want to get shot. I want to get like riled up. I want to run down the street and basically start screaming and basically be energized. Where did this passion come from? Where did your activism begin? Because as a high school teacher, I can tell you a lot of people are politically apathetic. Like they are not really paying attention. Is this your personality? Did your parents raise you to pay attention to the community? Because I feel it, it's contagious.
I must tell you, I come from listen, let me tell you, I come from a Haitian mom, and I need not to tell you anything. My father was a very docile man, but my mom, honey, she was everything. And I really watched her passion and her, the lack of education she had, and she still was involved. And still, I remember going as a little girl to Manifestation on 54th Street, going to VAO, and then, and then listening to Haitian radio about, the upheaval in Haiti. So this activism, I was born in it, and I'm so happy I was, and I'm proud I was born in it. It's just a service to people, and then just the empowering people. Like I really want to empower my people to tell them how strong and how passionate and how much power they do have, because I think that's what the opposition try to do, is take away their power. And I want to introduce them that, no, you do have power, you have voice, you have power. And I always tell them, call your representative, call your congresswoman, hell, call your governor, call the governor of the state and says, listen, this is the issue I'm having, here's the phone number. So it's inherent to me to help others, because that's what I give. So much was given to me, and I think we should give so much back.
Did you start out in Miami? Did you start out in New York?
Is your Miami? Family? I started right on the mean street of Little Haiti, and back in the 90s with all the gun violence. And at one point in Little Haiti, we was pointed as the most dangerous city in the country at one time. No, I am on the grits and streets of Little Haiti. I am, like I said, if anybody asks you the product of Little Haiti, you're looking at it, and I am proud and I'm happy. I would not have been raised any other place but Little Haiti. And I must tell you, the support I get from Little Haiti is astronomical. Like they call me, I am the child of the streets, and I wear that very proudly.
Oh yes, I definitely can sense that, and I appreciate that very much. Now, talk a bit about coalition building. Is it possible that, well, maybe we should take it one step at a time. Talk to us about the Haitian community and our status in this country, and working on getting representation for our community, and then we can talk about coalition building with other Caribbean nations. Do you think that the needs of the Haitian community are similar or different from other Caribbean nations?
Of course, somewhat similar, but somewhat uniquely differently, right? We have we have a country that we desperately need. The diaspora needs to go back home and help our community. So our community is different in the instance that we need so much more to be given, so much more attention that we need to provide to our community and our city. And we have a different different mindset of community. So absolutely, coalition building it's beautiful. It's what we need. It's what is possible right now. But nevertheless, we still remember that we have to take care of home and where we come from, and our mental status and our mental capacity to understand and discern things. That's one of the things I don't think we address as much in our Haitian community. because we suffer for so much, and we suffer from so many different things. The abandoning of home and leaving home and then coming to a new society, and the trauma of the new society not accepting us. And instead of the nevertheless, we strive, and we've made great strides. That's one thing I will never take away from the Haitian people. With all the things and all the barriers and all the not helping and not, coalescing around us, we still make great strides. We've had mayors of North Miami. We have congresswomen. We have great leaders. We have the beautiful Broward Social Network. I mean, the strides we've made, and that's with manure on top of our head of not giving a chance. You see how resilient our people are?
Right.
And can you imagine an ounce of giving us something and
Right.
what we can do with it?
Right. I strongly do believe, and this probably been in place for a while. I strongly do believe that the architect of slavery, the architect of the slave trade, knew exactly what they were doing when they were picking Africans from different tribes
Absolutely.
and putting them on the ship so that they could not communicate. In addition to that, they knew what they were doing when Africans or people of African descent didn't have the right to read or go to school, because they knew the minute we can communicate, the minute that we can get together, the minute that our minds will be able to kind of adapt to the new world and evolve and so forth, it would be kind of an awakening. So therefore, I believe that this is still part of the awakening.
Correct.
And when I think about it, I am already grateful for the power within us. Correct. And the things that we can do together, because I have Josephs in my family. You might literally be, not joking, Dottie Joseph, any Joseph I see, and really I extend this to every Haitian, every Dominican, every person in the diaspora. I say that's my family member, and I'm seeing the connections being made. And I know for sure that when we actually decide to put our power together, Linda, I'm already sweating about the possibilities. I do believe that we can kind of revolutionize the moment so that everybody, I'm not asking for additional treatment or things that I don't deserve, but everybody can be on the same level playing field and be treated equally. I do not want to walk in Walmart and be followed around. I do not want to see a police officer and be in fear. So I do believe that slowly but surely, I'm looking and finding for a Linda Joseph, a Dottie Joseph, a Karen Andre, a Cassandra Arnold, and many of the sheroes and heroes in our community. And we're going to make a better place, this world a better place for your kids and my kids, because our kids should not have to walk around in fear.
It's not only, let me tell you, it's not even only in fear, because I don't want people to just say, oh God, and they just blow it off. It's not only fear. It's just so much more deepening than it is. Like I said, I tell you about my son. He started college last year. Understand this. Every application I have to fill out for my son to go to college, and you want to do abroad of different school and different, you have to pay $30, which I can afford it, right? But what about my sister who cannot afford to have her kids apply at 10 different schools at $300? And then we're not talking about the SAT, that's another $50. And then the ACT, another $50. This is how deep this thing goes. It is socially and economic, it's like they keep them away. They do not give them access, you understand, for them to apply so they can be more. This is what I'm talking about. The social and the mental is not only that, it's financially. Financially, they keep you, you know, like I said, why, if you're applying for a school, why do you have to pay the $30? Why? You understand? That's just another way of, blocking our kids.
Right. See, they figure out that they have to make the money somehow. They have to make the money somehow, because if they decide to not accept you, at least they basically made some money by using the energy to even look at your application. So your point is well taken. If you're going to that college, why pay the application fee?
Exactly.
The application fee, at least it should be waived upon acceptance. At least it should be waived upon acceptance. If they accept you, okay, then you know what? We'll put that towards your tuition.
Give our kids access. It's everybody want good for their children. Every mom wants their children to thrive financially, educationally, this and that, but the access. It's
Right,
not
right,
afforded to everyone.
right,
And
right,
the
right, right,
information about the loans and grants and scholarships and work study, it's not afforded to every child.
right, right.
That's what I'm talking about, is the access.
Right, 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 right. So talk to us, because for us to be able to change that access, I'm going to uh, give you more responsibility that you've already put on your shoulders. For us to have that access, we need some good people in the office. So, okay, now that you're going to have your 4 years as the DNC, is Linda Joseph going to run for office in the future for state representative, for Congress? I mean, is that what I'm seeing? Is that what I'm hearing?
No, can I be completely honest? No, I just listen. I'm a child of the streets. Did I lose you? Oh goodness. Oh,
No,
okay.
I'm here.
Okay. No. I am. No, I never wanted to be a politician. I want to be an activist, and I like behind the scene, and I like to educate, and I don't want to be prohibited with who I can talk to. What can I say, and this and that. I want to be free. I want to be able to say what I want to say, and this and that. I don't want to be bounded by anyone or any structure. No, I respect. I love people who run for office. I support them mentally, physically, financially, in anything and in all their endeavors, but not for me. It's not my road for me.
Because you want to be able to speak your mind at any time.
At any time and all the time. And I want to be with a pure heart. Not to say that politician doesn't do that. I just don't want to be, me, Linda Joseph, don't want to be restrained.
I hear you. I hear you. Talk a little bit about the pandemic in your community, because I'm not necessarily sure where exactly are you. Are there food lines? Are there people talking about unemployment? Are there businesses that are shutting down? Are you North, South Miami? I really don't know where exactly you are in Miami.
Well, more near Aventura and North Miami Beach.
Okay.
It's just bad. It's just bad everywhere around. You know, the lack of resources and the lack of response from our governors. And you know, there's people that have not applied since back in March, and we're now in June. So tell me, what do you want this family to do?
Right,
And this
right,
is not money that's given to them. This is money they earn. This is
right, right.
unemployment compensation. This is money they earn, and this is insurance that if something happened, they no longer work, and this money is supposed to be given to them. The system just completely failed them. That
Right.
is unacceptable. From since March, someone applied for unemployment and they have not received any information as of today. And the way that the government has set it up was just a colossal failure. Did you
Mhm.
see in the beginning of the pandemic, people had to make a line to get a paper, a line. Where is the plan? Where
Humanity. Where's the humanity, the
is
organization, the structure?
humanity? You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
And nevertheless, and I want to remind people, and I have to remind my Haitian brothers and sisters, this is not wealth, this is money that you put aside. This is an insurance policy that you put aside, that if something happened, employment is interrupted, that you afforded it. And so we need to hold our government and our governors responsible.
That's right. That's right. That's right. We paid into the system, so therefore they should be able to take care of us. Absolutely. Absolutely.
Absolutely. And that's why we paid into it. And that's why we did everything legitimately. I held my bargain. Now it's time for the government and the governor of this state to hold up his bargain. And
Mhm.
we're calling on to the governor, and I call them every day in the last 2 months to make sure that people are being compensated correctly.
Right, 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 right. Okay, is there a big Haitian community in your immediate neighborhood? Because
Huge.
Aventura, but in Aventura,
No, North Miami Beach.
okay,
I'm Michael Joseph in North Miami Beach. One of my, I'm like I tell you, elections matter. My congressman, our councilman. No, absolutely. I have a huge Haitian population in my area.
okay, because my wife works at Aventura Hospital, and when I think about Aventura area, I don't think about a big Haitian community,
No,
because
I'm more north south.
okay, because in addition to the presidential elections, who else is in your area is running for office this year? Is Frederica up? Frederica is not up, is she, for
Frederica is
election?
up. Dottie is up. Dottie Joseph is up. We
And
got the mayor.
those are the representatives that cover
Those
your
are my
area?
representatives.
Okay,
We
so we
got the
got
mayor that's coming up. The mayor of
who's
Miami-Dade.
who's your mayor? Who's your candidate?
Kava Levine. I am definitely supporting Kava Levine. I've seen her in our community. I've seen her drive. I've seen her. She's been to every town meeting. She's had conversation. She has point conversation. She actually has plans for the community and the community for the city, addressing all our needs and our separate needs.
Okay, so I'm going to try my best to not get overexcited about what you just said, because you see that, and for those of you who are seeing this now and who will eventually see this video, okay, so we're supporting, because I did see something on my platform about several Haitian leaders supporting Kava, and
Correct.
this goes back to the conversation of coalition building. I've said for years that in every crisis, there is a silver lining.
Correct.
And nobody is happy about George Floyd, right? Nobody's happy about these killings. However, what I'm seeing, which is wonderful for the first time in my lifetime, I'm seeing white folks telling other white folks that Black Lives Matter. I mean, you know, and that translates into the fact that, you know what, we can support somebody other than a Haitian American, obviously, and a Haitian and an American or a non-Haitian American or Caucasian American, European American can support the Haitian community. And there's just no way for me to be the only person responsible for my safety. I have to be responsible for your safety. Absolutely. Just as much as you responsible. If I see your child crossing the street and there's a car that's about to run him over, even if I have to pull him by the neck to save his life,
yes,
that's just a civic duty for our community. So the fact that we are supporting her and she's supporting us, and I do believe that she has a long track record with the Haitian community, is evidence that it takes a village for us to be able to make this happen.
And one of the things I can tell you uniquely about her is that she's just not coming to the party, right? She's been here. I've seen her here. I've seen her in our community. I've seen her address our community, and I've seen her come and speak upon the things that's going on. So one of the things I try to educate my constituents and people in my family and supporters, know who represents you. Look at their track record. Look at what they voted for. See what they do. Do not wait till the election time to hear the rhetoric. Let's see what they've done in the past, because the way you could judge something is the way you judge the future is see what happened in the past. And that's how you judge the future. Judge it. I didn't say that's what's going to be outcome, but that's how you can judge it.
All right. You can predict the likelihood of how they'll behave in the future, for sure, based on how they behaved before.
That's it. Absolutely. It's just 1 + 2. It's just that simple. Look at what they've done in the past. Look at their voting record. See what they've supported, and so they can give you an indication what it's going to look like in the future. And if that future has me and my children a part of it, and my
as a matter of fact, even though I believe I wrote her on my list, and I'm going to make a few phone calls, but if you or anybody else have a direct contact with her, I'd love to interview her. I'd love to interview her. I'd love to interview her, because even though I'm the Broward Social Network, I have a humongous chunk of people in Miami participating in the Broward Social Network, who are participating, who are following, and so forth. And nowadays, people are winning and losing elections with race within margins. If I can give her one additional vote, it will have been worth it. So I'd love to be able to interview her, not because of what she has done for the community alone, but as a model of coalition building, No community, I don't care if you're LGBTQ, I don't care if you're Jamaican, I don't care if you're Haitian, I don't care if you're Chinese, I don't care if you're a woman, I don't care if you're white. No one should be living in this wonderful social experiment called the United States of America, because that's what I call it, as a social experiment, because very few other countries in the world have been able to just receive people from all over the world to be able to try to make it work.
Of everything and everybody.
So that we can come here together and peacefully coexist. So I have to be able to say that, you know what, here's my neighbor. The fact that he's from a different place, he speaks a different language, has a different culture, he still ought to be equally respected and valued as a human being. When I see these images on my mind, and honestly, I don't watch too much TV because there's power in imagery, which is why I take social media very seriously. I'm beginning to think that the implicit message is that the Black man is an endangered species. It's just insane. It's absolutely insane. And when you're attacking the Black man, obviously you're also attacking the Black family, because we need to come together to have children, right? So therefore, Black families, Black people in general are somehow under attack. But we need to definitely overcome this, because
Correct.
it's not just Black people who have experienced atrocities over the years.
Correct.
We will and we must overcome this. And it starts like here and now by having these conversations, by making sure that our kids are educated and are safe, and as well, by making sure that we elect the right people into office. So I'd like for you
And
to
hold
give,
them accountable. After we elect them, let's hold them accountable. Have them
right.
come back to the community and tell them, this is what we're doing and this is why we're doing it.
Well, listen, that's why I do interviews, right?
Yes.
Because then I can always say, you know what, go to the video at 5 minutes and 4 seconds. This is what you said.
Perfect.
So,
Perfect. And speak on it.
I have
That
a
is
recording.
exactly
I have a
what we need.
recording. I have a
Exactly, and
recording.
that's exactly what he needs. And then put and hold them on record. Put them on record. You said you was going to do this and this and that. You said we're going to have housing, and we're going to have a rent control, or we're going to have, we're going to address why 3-4 generation lives in one home, not because they want to, it's because they have to. Hold our elected official accountable. There's no way that we could continue living this way. This rubber band is about to pop. And then we need to have people who understand that, recognize it, and put real plans to start addressing these issues.
Right.
And then hold
Very
them
quickly. Right. Very quickly, just for the younger people to understand about going back to the delegate, Donald Trump is going to have a rally in Tallahassee because of the COVID-19, right? There's so many things we can talk about over there. Is the DNC reconfiguring when you're going to meet, where you're going to meet? Have the details been outlined yet? Because
Our convention is usually a big deal. To get elected for a delegate, it is really hard, and really it comes in. And then so when we do win,
congratulations again.
thank you. And when we do win, and there is a huge celebration in the designated city. This year was Milwaukee. And so what the DNC is doing, and just to be responsible and just being good citizens of this country and other one, we've scaled it back completely. Like it's not going to be as big as that it was supposed to be.
Right, that's what I needed to hear.
Responsible thing to do. Yes, we're still going to be meeting in Milwaukee, but we're going to have all the provision, the CDC guidelines. We will be wearing masks. It will not be optional. It'll be demanded that we do wear masks so we can protect ourselves and others. The social distance is going to be implemented. We have an actual full plan of how we're going to have this our convention, and it's not going to be the whole 5-7 days we usually have. It's going to be really scaled back. But we do need to have a nomination. We do need to nominate our nominee and have them introduce their vice president. Have him introduce her as the vice president.
Who do you think is Joe Biden? Who do you think Joe Biden is going to pick?
Who I would like him to pick?
Okay, I'll take that.
Well, there is Val Demings. She is out of Orlando. I love her. I love her background. I love everything she represents. Her husband is a mayor. Listen, you cannot win the presidency without coming through Florida. That's just what it is. That's just what, and we're a 1% state. That's why I always tell my Haitian community, you just don't know how vital you are. The RNC knows. Everyone knows how important we are, but we don't know how important we are.
We don't know our own value.
So vital when we are.
That's a problem. That's a problem.
That is a problem. In Orange County, where Val Demings are from, it's huge Haitian population. It's a huge Haitian population that works for the for Disney World. So, and who has family, have roots there. So yeah, I love Val Demings. I think she would make a phenomenal vice president. I've watched her platform. I've watched her speak. I like, things that she's introduced. I've liked her in the Congress. I liked her background as being a police chief. So we could talk about the problem that we're having with our community not connecting with our police department. Just so much of broad things I think she would bring to the vice presidency. So she is my pick. Who I think he might pick, I think he might pick Kamala Harris. But anybody he picks, I will support 100% the ticket. That is my goal, and that's what we're going to do, and we have to do it. It's like speaking to the choir. This is the most important election of a year of our lifetime.
We say that every cycle, but this year is the truth.
Literally,
this year is the truth. When is the convention?
It's going to be August 17, one day before the primary. And people, please don't forget the primary. We have primaries coming up August 18. I know everyone just laser focus on November, but August 18th is very important. Please, this is what's going to really set off the general election. We have to do the primary. And so please, people, please do not forget about August 18. Go online, call your supervisor election, call your city hall, find out what election is going on and where you're going to be elected, because we need you August 18th.
Folks have to register to vote, and the other very important component to this conversation is the census, right? We need to, because the census is going to have a major impact on redistricting, gerrymandering, the distribution of services. So we will say to communauté haïtienne, faut capable voter, faut capable remplir toute application pour faire census là. I don't remember the word en créole encore for census, but it is but census, but I'm pretty sure I think it's raccroissement, but something along those lines, but I don't remember the exact word, which is terrible. But you must register to vote, pour capable enregistrer pour voter. And definitely fill out your census pour nous capables recevoir ressources dans la communauté nous.
And you gotta explain to them, either document or undocumented, please fill out your census. It has nothing to do with your immigration status.
Qui tout gain document, qui tout gain papier, si vous pas gain papier, c'est pour capable remplir census là, il pas venir chercher ou c'est pas un bagage que immigration capable connaître qui côté habiter, il pas venir chercher ou. Alors mais c'est juste pour connaître qui côté pour yo voyer ressources, qui côté pour yo mettre l'école, qui côté pour yo bâtir supermarché, qui côté pour yo mettre l'hôpital. Alors même c'est pour capable ou pas pour capable rester caché dans fait noir, c'est pour connaître que vous êtes capable de connaître qui côté habiter pour capable mettre la rue, pour capable mettre l'école ressources. Alors même remplir l'application s'il te plaît le plus tôt possible. Et puis monde qui capable, monde qui gagne papier, monde qui résident, monde qui gagne, qui citoyen, s'il te plaît, c'est pour nous capable d'enregistrer pour nous voter. Parce que si nous pas prendre attention avec qui est-ce qui président dans le pays ça, l'a pas affecté sous quand même caractère dans le pays ça. Parce que chaque jour, il veut se mettre nous dehors. Chaque jour, il veut se mettre nous dehors. Alors, c'est pour capable, pour faire attention, pour nous capables de voter, parler avec voisins, nos familles, nous, tout le monde nous connaît, pour voter année, c'est très important. 18 août avec 3 novembre. 18 août avec 3 novembre. I hope I didn't forget those. I got those dates correct, right?
You got the dates right. August 18 is very correct. And also, let's explain to people that, vote by mail is possible. If they need to vote by mail, please feel free. You don't have to.
Exactement. Il y a des gens qui doivent voter, mais pas camper sur ligne pour un bon temps. Ou capable juste faire un téléphone, et puis comme c'est qu'il y a vos applications en bas, il y a remplir la caillou, et puis juste envoyer par courrier, ou pas besoin de sortir la caillou, ou capable voter quand même la caillou pendant à l'aise. Je ne suis pas sûr, parce que parfois l'histoire longue, je ne suis pas sûr capable de les deux, trois voisins, les deux, trois, vous votez les mêmes. Ma vidéo, Linda Joseph, avec Ted Victor, Thierry Théodore Miguel, m'a aidé à remplir l'application parce que parfois on ne connaît pas tout le candidat, on ne connaît pas qui ça a fait, on ne connaît pas l'histoire. Ça, je connais parce que gain haïtien, gain espagnol, gain américain, gain toute qualité de nationalité, c'est pour apprendre à connaître qui est ce candidat parce que c'est eux-mêmes qui font une différence dans la communauté, qui fait qu'on n'a pas besoin, obligé de sortir la caillou pour voter, on est capable de voter et la caillou avec voisin, avec communauté par. So, Linda, talk to us about what will be discussed, other than, because we have to have a game plan, and maybe we probably shouldn't even discuss it online, because we have to have a game plan, because I am putting together a multilingual Biden Blitz on my platform, okay? Because my platform has a few thousand followers, close to 9,000. I'm trying to bring it up a little bit more. And I'm calling all of the Democrats who are the single Democrats in their races out of the 120 House races. And I am calling them up and I'm saying, hey, I'm going to start off with Broward, Miami, and Palm Beach. And I'm going to create this multilingual Biden blitz to endorse Joe Biden. And I'm hoping to get the word out to him as well. Maybe I'll probably call a couple of our friends to be able to get him to notice it and to give us a shout out back, to give momentum to the campaigns, because everybody needs encouragement. Everybody needs words of positive energy in order to go forward, because like you said, this year is extremely important. And any extra little thing we need to do to get the word out, little things that we need to discuss, because the other side, they're going for the jugular, and me personally, I don't want any more, and I don't want anybody on my neck. So therefore, I have to be.
And let me show you why it's so important that we get involved and we get voted. You know, back in 2016, the community pushed the politicians aside, right, and said, listen, we believe that returning citizens, people who've committed some type of crime, that they should have the right to vote, right? Even God don't punish you forever.
That's
Who
right.
is the state of Florida
Right. Ding, ding,
to
ding.
punish
God
you
doesn't
forever?
punish you forever.
Who is the state of Florida? And when we discuss, you in the state of Florida, that if you committed a felon, and a felon could be just letting an air balloon out in the air, that's considered a felony. And then you spend your time and you did what you're supposed to do, and you came back to society, you working, that you still weren't able to vote. Do you believe that? And what was the purpose of that? It was to keep people away from the voting block. Why would, if I served my time, I did what I was supposed to do, why wouldn't you reinstate me as a full citizen? You take my taxes, I pay taxes, you take my taxes, I am a full-fledged citizen, but yet nevertheless, you don't give us our right to vote. So what the state of Florida did it for years. So finally, the great people of Florida said, okay, enough. We will change the Constitution of the state of Florida to allow returning citizens the right to vote. So we did it in 2016. Bracket numbers. We collected all the signatures so it could be on the ballot. It was on the ballot, and they raised the stake of zone again. It was 61. We made it all the way to 65. They changed the process, even how they get the signature. We overcame all that, and all that we overcame. Finally, in 2016. We were able to collect enough signature and win the ballot race that says that you can vote. And of course, this governor and this legislator did everything to prohibit people to vote. Why? And now what they were doing is that they would come up with an arbitrated number. Did I lose you? Dad? I lost.